Welcome to the very first episode of Whispers from the Countryside. This is where I bring you along for a glimpse into my world, where animal wisdom meets rural living, tarot insights, and the journey of restoring a centuries-old stone barn. Stay tuned. Hi and welcome back. I'm Colleen, an animal communicator living in the beautiful French countryside, and I'm so excited to share this new weekly series with you. Think of it as a little window into the magic of my everyday life. I wanted a way to share the little moments, not just with my work as an animal communicator, but with the everyday happenings that make my life here so unique. The lessons, the progress we're making on our barn conversion. Whether you love animals, dream of countryside living, or just enjoy a little bit of weekly inspiration, you're in the right place. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you know the score, turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. So what can you expect each week? Well, each episode will cover different aspects of my life and work, and they fit into 5 key themes. Animal communication and wisdom, where I'll share insights from my sessions and the lessons that animals have taught us. Life in the rural French countryside, so a peek into what it's really like living in the rural French countryside. Nature, local traditions, and a slower pace of life. Our stone barn conversion, updates on our journey to transform this 200-year-old stone barn into our home. Tarot and oracle cards for self-development, so how I use tarot and oracle cards for self-reflection and how you can too. And lastly, cats, because, well, let's be honest, my life wouldn't be complete without them. And you'll get to meet them all and hear about all their antics. So every week I'll be giving you a little update on each of these areas. Some weeks might be bigger updates, others just smaller moments I want to share. So let me know in the comments which topic you're most excited about. Now, if you love what I share here, you might also enjoy my newsletter, A Letter from the Countryside. It's a little bit different from the Whispers from the Countryside in that it shares exclusive animal communication insights that I don't share anywhere else. Plus, it includes a special monthly discount on animal communication sessions. It's the best way to stay connected, especially if you're interested in animal communication and hearing more about what animals share. So you can sign up using the link in the description. It's completely free and it's full of heart and wisdom. This week I spoke to 4 animals, 2 dogs and 2 cats. One session was especially emotional. A beautiful cat that was preparing to transition, but you'll have to read more about that in my newsletter. One of the other cats shared how much he enjoyed his time with his guardian while she was drinking her coffee in the morning, a role which he'd taken on since another cat in the household had passed away. One of the dogs that I spoke to had a really firm but kind matron feel to her, and she spoke of how she'd cared and looked out for 2 animals in the household that had passed. Animals are just amazing. Have you ever felt like one of your animals was looking out for the others? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear of your experiences. Life in the countryside is never dull. First, earlier this week, we dug up a load of potatoes to go into a delicious stew. We tend to leave our potatoes in the ground. They keep better there than digging them up and storing them. We grow potatoes every year and we grow a lot. They just do very well and they hardly require any maintenance at all. Also, earlier this week, we had a lot of rain and we had to keep an eye on our stream. We have a very small stream that runs along the edge of our property. And every now and again, it bursts its banks. This has happened twice before we eventually redesigned our entire back garden and vegetable patch to allow for the stream to flood naturally without washing away the potatoes and onions and paving slabs. Check out this video from the time it flooded after which we redesigned the layout of our back garden. One river when you can have two. A quick update on the barn renovation. As you might already know, we took on this property in July 2016, and we've been working on converting it into a home ever since. It was really just a barn with a dirt floor, no doors and windows when we arrived. We're now living in the barn. My office, as you can see here, is in the barn, but there are still unfinished rooms, so we're still a way off from completion. My husband is the main one working on this conversion since I now work full-time. His current project is aiming to get the living room finished. So he's built the area in the corner where the wood burner is going to stand. We'll have to make a huge hole in the wall at a later stage to allow for the flue chimney. He's boarded and plasterboarded the wall, the two walls, but the main wall that's going to take on the TV and media center, so that all the cables can be safely tucked away out of sight. And the rest of the walls in the room have been pointed, and they still need to be rendered and plastered. He's currently working on installing a metal mesh plate. I'll include a photo in the gaps between the ceiling beams. This metalwork forms a better base for plastering than plasterboard, because all the areas we're working with aren't flat or straight, so the metalwork can bend and mold into those gaps, whereas plasterboards, straighten, because the areas in between the beams aren't always parallel. Cutting plasterboard to fit is just a nightmare. He did start with plasterboard. He spent a whole day struggling and mumbling very loudly to himself before deciding to use the metalwork. We've used this all through the upstairs, and thought the plasterboard would work downstairs because the ceiling is slightly different, but it didn't. But that's how this renovation goes. It's all about being flexible and adaptable. This week I received a surprise gift from a friend in America. I just checked the post and there was this parcel there, and I thought perhaps my husband had ordered something for my birthday, which is in February, and I wasn't expecting anything, and I opened it up and there was no note or anything because she'd ordered it online, and it had come, I think it had come from Sweden, but it was the absolutely stunning Forest of Enchantment tarot deck. For those of you that don't know, I absolutely love anything to do with tarot and oracle cards. They are a fabulous tool for self-development. Not only do I read the cards, but I also teach them. And this particular deck, all the images are based on Celtic mythology and fairy tales. And when I went through the cards, it was so exciting to see so many things in the cards that are in our garden. The same trees, the same birds, the same animals, foxes, badgers, deer, and so much more. I'm so excited to use the deck. So I'll keep you posted. I'm hoping to post a few shorts on YouTube using the cards. And of course, lastly, the cats. They've all been finding nice warm places to sleep because it has been fairly chilly this past week. And also we finally captured a photo of Kinky's tail, so you can all understand why we call him Kinky. So that's it for this week's episode of Whispers from the Countryside. I really want to keep it short so that it's able to be digested quickly and we don't all die I hope you enjoyed this little peek into my world. Remember, if you want even more updates, especially those extra animal communication insights, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. The link is in the description. I'd love to hear from you. What part of my week stood out for you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with anyone who you think would enjoy this journey as well. And I'll see you next week for another episode of Whispers from the Countryside. Until then, take care and cherish the magic around you. Bye, bye.